A young monk spent 3 years at his teacher's monastery without once asking a question. He didn't know what to ask. When a senior monk finally pushed him to go speak, he walked up, opened his mouth, and before the first word came out, his teacher struck him with a stick. He came back. Same question, same blow. A third time. Strike. 3 beatings for 3 questions. Then he left, completely lost, convinced there was something wrong with him. This is a summary of the sayings of Zen master Linji Yixuan, recorded by his disciples in 9th century Tang Dynasty China. This book is about why you are already what you're looking for and why you keep missing it. If you want more summaries like this, subscribing takes 1 tap. Here is the problem this book addresses. You are sitting in the middle of everything you need, and you are certain it is somewhere else. You read teachings, you memorize phrases, you look for better teachers, clearer explanations, deeper insights. You sit quietly hoping something will arrive. You understand the ideas intellectually and still feel incomplete. The transformation, the breakthrough, the real experience. None of it shows up on schedule. Meanwhile, the years go by. That is the ache Master Linji spent his entire life pointing at. Not enlightenment as a distant achievement. Not practice as something you perform to earn your way there. The problem, he said plainly, is that students of the way lack self-confidence. They don't trust what is already operating. And because they don't trust it, they miss it. Not once, not twice, but continuously, day after day. The man who wrote these teachings lived in 9th century China. He trained under the great master Huangbo. He was struck with a stick until the stick left no mark. And then one day, everything he had been searching for disappeared. Not because he finally found something, because he finally stopped. This book moves through 3 arcs: the story of Linji's own awakening, his central teaching about the true person without rank, and his blunt demand that you stop looking to anyone but yourself. The young monk who got hit 3 times. That monk at the beginning of this story was Linji himself. After 3 years at Huangbo's monastery, the head monk pushed him. Go ask the teacher what the essential meaning of the Buddha Dharma is. Linji walked to the teacher's room. He asked. Before the question was fully out of his mouth, Huangbo struck him. He came back the next day. Same question, same blow. A third time, the stick fell before the words could. Linji went back to the head monk and said he didn't understand what was happening. There must be something wrong with him, some fundamental ignorance that blocked the answer. He wanted to leave. The head monk slipped ahead to Huangbo and said, "This kid is the real thing. When he comes to say goodbye, give him something." So Huangbo told Linji to go visit another master, a man named Dayu, and see what he had to say. Linji arrived. He told Dayu the whole story, the 3 questions, the 3 beatings, the confusion. Dayu listened and said, "Huangbo exhausted himself for you. He treated you like a grandmother treats a grandchild, and here you are asking whether you did something wrong." In that moment, Linji was completely awakened. He said aloud, Huangbo's Buddha Dharma is nothing special. Not an insult, a recognition. The teaching had been inside the blows from the beginning. The transmission was already complete before Linji knew there was anything to transmit. What he understood in that moment was that there was nothing to get. He had been so busy waiting for an answer that he could not see the thing itself working right through him, in the question, in the confusion, in the long walk between monasteries. He punched Dayu 3 times in the ribs. Dayu stepped back and said calmly, "Your teacher is Huangbo. This has nothing to do with me." When Linji returned and reported what happened, Huangbo tried to strike him again. Linji grabbed the stick and slapped his teacher across the face. Huangbo laughed and called for his attendant. This lunatic came back and pulled the tiger's whiskers again. That laugh meant, yes, exactly that, you've got it. The one already listening. At the center of everything Linji taught is one image he returned to, lecture after lecture, year after year. From your lump of red flesh, there is a true person without rank who is always going out and coming in through the face. Those of you who have not yet verified this, look now. The lump of red flesh is your body exactly as it is, ordinary, aging, unremarkable, the true person. Without rank is not a figure you become after sufficient practice. It is not a reward waiting at the end of effort. It is the one that is already hearing these words. The one that sees when you open your eyes. The one that reaches when you reach. That walks when you walk. That knows when you know. No rank means it does not belong to any hierarchy of spiritual achievement. It cannot be measured, cultivated, improved, or lost. It is not your spiritual self as opposed to your ordinary self. It is simply the awareness operating right now. A monk once tried to grab hold of this teaching and asked Linji directly, "What is the true person without rank?" Linji stepped off his seat, grabbed the monk by the chest and said, "Speak, speak." The monk froze. Linji pushed him away and turned back to the assembly. This sounds harsh. The teaching is in the timing. The true person, without rank, was already operating the instant the monk formed the question. It was there in the reaching for it. The moment you turn it into an object to pursue, the moment you try to hold it, you have already made an error, not because it left, because the reaching was already beside the point. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, notice what is already noticing. It is not the product of your meditation. It is what meditation happens inside of. How the shout works. Linji is famous for two instruments, his shout, the quats, and his staff. He described 4 kinds of shouts. One is like a diamond sword. It cuts through conceptual thinking at the root. One is like a crouching lion, holding its full power before springing. One functions like a fishing rod, probing the depth of a student's understanding in real time. And sometimes, he said, a shout does not function as a shout at all. It functions as something else entirely, depending on the moment. What matters is this: the shout is not magic. The blow is not the point. What these tools do is interrupt the pattern of analysis at exactly the right instant, the moment when the student is balanced between the question and the answer, between seeking and recognizing. The sudden noise, the sudden impact. Thought stops. In the gap that opens, what was always present becomes visible, briefly, before the mind closes back over it. A student who received a blow and bowed, not as a performance, not after deliberation, but with his whole body immediately, was praised, not because he found the right answer, because the true person without rank responded without interference. The bow itself was the demonstration. The ones Linji had no patience for were the ones who could not be startled out of their thinking, who tried to capture the shout and carry it home as a concept, who sat in stillness and called it practice without the spark of genuine recognition anywhere inside it. The stick falls, either you're home or you aren't. Stop looking for your head. The teaching Linji returned to most relentlessly was the simplest one. The disease is a lack of self-confidence, he said outright. If you can stop your continuously seeking mind, there will be no difference between you and the Buddhas and patriarchs. Not after years of diligent effort. Not after the right retreat or the right teacher. Right now, as you are. Would you like to know who the Buddhas and patriarchs are? He asked an assembly of monks. They are none other than those of you who are now in front of me, listening to the Dharma. Not flattery, a precise statement, The awareness that right now registers these words. The awareness that has no form, no weight, no address. That is the thing they spent lifetimes writing about. You are using it to read this sentence. You have never been without it. The problem is, you won't accept it without a certificate, so you keep going looking for better teachers, more complete systems, more refined experiences. Every time you go looking, you step directly past what you are looking for. You have a head, Linji said. Stop looking for it somewhere else. His prescription was almost embarrassingly plain. Be ordinary. When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep. When you need to walk, walk. Don't construct a spiritual self on top of your regular self and then try to maintain the performance. What you take to be your dull, everyday awareness, the thing that right now is aware of the room you're sitting in, that is what all of it has been pointing toward. The moment you stop treating it as something you need to upgrade, you have already arrived. Puhua, an eccentric monk who was Linji's contemporary, used to wander through markets ringing a bell and shouting without stopping. Days before he died, he asked townspeople for a coffin, lay down inside it, and vanished. The coffin was empty, a distant sound of the bell fading. Linji heard and said nothing. Some people spend their whole lives performing enlightenment. Puhua just lived it, all the way to the end. The 4 movements. Near the end of the record, Linji gave a teaching called The 4 Classifications. 4 ways awareness and experience can move in relation to each other. Not stages to graduate through sequentially, but different orientations you might find yourself in, sometimes within a single day. The first, the person is taken away, but not the surroundings. You become so absorbed in what is in front of you, a task, a sound, a conversation, that the sense of a separate self doing the absorbing quietly dissolves. The world remains vivid and full. The watcher has stepped back without disappearing. The second, the surroundings are taken away, but not the person. Attention turns inward. External noise recedes. You watch thoughts as they arise, not chasing them, not resisting them. Only the watching remains, clear and still. The third, both are taken away. Neither self nor world is being grasped. The gap opens. This is what the tradition calls the Great Death, and the recognition that follows. The fourth, neither is taken away. This is ordinary life after you've seen through the seeking. The king sits on the throne. The old farmer sings while he works. Everything is exactly what it is, without overlay. Nothing to achieve, nothing to lose, nothing special, and nothing not special. That last state, nothing special, is what Linji was pointing toward when he described the fully realized person. Not someone who levitates or speaks in riddles, someone who eats when hungry, rests when tired, responds to what is in front of them without the added layer of calculation about whether they are doing it right. Which brings us back to where we started. That young monk who got hit 3 times and walked away lost. Linji wrote later that those blows felt in memory like being touched by a soft branch of mugwort. He said he longed to taste them again. Because the blows were love, not love as sentiment, the precise care of a teacher who saw something real in a student and kept striking it into visibility. What Huangbo was striking toward was simple. You are not incomplete. You have never been incomplete. The part of you that keeps going looking for completion, that is not a flaw you need to fix. It is the habit you need to see through. So here is the question to carry into the rest of the evening. Not, am I enlightened, or am I practicing correctly? Something quieter. What is already here before you add anything to it? If something in this video stayed with you, drop it in the comments. And a like helps more than you know.